Oh, hello. All right, I got here just in time. Okay, hello. Well, earlier I was because I went to one of them hardware stores like a couple weeks ago, and it was one of those hardware. It was like one of these hardware stores that also has a grocery section in it. I don't know if you've ever seen that. I think at Home Depot and Lowe's they'll sell like where the grills are, they'll have like rubs and spices and stuff, but not like groceries or nothing. Other than like I guess like whatever snacks they have at the registers that Mexicans like to buy. When I worked at Home Depot in college, I worked there for like a couple of years when I was in college, and whenever I would have to open, so I'd had when I was working like the 5 a.m. shift, these all the guys that were there were like waiting outside, waiting for the store to open to come in. Some of them, and they're Mexicans, right? Some of them would come in, and the only things they would buy would be like Takis and Mexican Cokes. They would just grab like bags and bags of Takis and like a big like a big case of Mexican Cokes, and that's all they would buy. And I don't know, they would use their like rewards thing or their, I don't know what they had. They know, but they always paid in cash. Like I guess because they're undocumented, they would come in and they would open up their wallets and they would just have like 10 grand, it looked like, and $100 bills in there. And it was like always either hungover or still drunk Mexicans with bloodshot eyes who smelled like Tecate and or tequila. Or, who's to say what I'm smelling on them? I'm just imagining Mexican alcohol, possibly. But they would reek of booze, and they seemed like they were still drunk. And they would come in, they'd be waiting to get into the Home Depot. They'd be like, I would get there. I worked there, right? So I'd walk in, they'd let me in, and I'd just walk past all the Mexicans, and I'd say, "Well, hey, sorry, fellas, you can't come in yet. We're not open yet." And then I get behind the register, and then they'd all file in, and then like, yeah, there were a bunch who they would come in. The only thing they would buy would be like snacks and sodas and stuff. But that's not necessarily groceries. That's just those are impulse options available near the checkout at Home Depot, and then there's also the spices and rubs in the grill section. But then there's like other hardware stores that are out there. I was at one the other day that had like they have like a weird grocery section, whereas like they don't offer a whole selection of groceries. They don't have like all the groceries you would get at a market, but they do have like I guess the groceries that make sense for a hardware store. So it's a lot of pickled things and jellies and jams and jerkies and stuff. But they also have this place I was at had a robust candy selection. They had like a whole candy aisle, and they had these big 24-ounce bags of Wiley Wallaby licorice. You ever had a Wiley Wallaby? It's like these licorice twists, but they're chodes. So rather than, a Twizzler is long and skinny, a Wiley Wallaby is like a little short, thick chode of licorice. And it's available in like all these different kinds of flavors. And it's one of my favorites. Is as I prefer that kind of style to a Twizzler. And Twizzler only, well, actually, there's like a bunch of flavors of Twizzlers, but Twizzler has a more plasticky consistency to it. Like it doesn't register that much as like a food product when I'm eating it. The strawberry flavor for sure. The cherry's a little more food like the pull and peel on the Twizzler, but the strawberry feels like plastic, like I'm eating some sort of tubing. But the Wiley Wallaby has a much chewier consistency, more resembling food, though it is not actually food. It would not sustain you if you were if you were seeking out any nutrition. but it is good. It is. I do enjoy it, and it's it's all these different fruit flavors. And then I think they also got a cinnamon and a black licorice, which I don't really know what flavor the black one is. I think it's anise. I think black licorice is anise, which then begs the question: what is anise? Um, but then they got all these different fruit flavors, right? And so this hardware store I was at, they had these 24-ounce bags on sale because they're going to expire soon. So they were on sale for like $1.97, or so it was like $2 basically. And did I not pronounce the word anise properly? How do you say it? Anus? Is it pronounced anus? The spice. Is it anise or anus? It doesn't matter. I think that's the flavor of black licorice, which is also maybe the flavor of Jägermeister. I've heard. But anyway, so I got they had these big bags of Wiley Wallaby licorice chodes, 24 ounce, on sale for $2, and because of that, their selection was running low at that point. There had been a mad grab for cheap licorice. It looked like the shelves were laid bare with only a paltry selection of fruit flavors, and then plenty of the black licorice and the cinnamon were left. And so I just went ahead and grabbed a bag of each that they still had left. So that was watermelon, lemonade, black, and cinnamon. And I don't even really like the black or the cinnamon ones, but I figure, hell, $2, I might as well. And so I got these big bags of licorice right now. And earlier I had a sweet tooth. And by the way, my power might go out at any minute. So if this just ends abruptly, that's why. So I guess before I say anything else, I am hitting the road tomorrow. I'm going on because I'm really getting. I got to put my nose to the grindstone real hard. Come the middle of September, I'm just going to be really busy, and so just before that, one last hurrah. I'm hitting the road and going somewhere to look at stuff, and then so that means I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the Arena of Ideas tomorrow. I already mentioned this to Robbie. I thought maybe I'd be able to just do it from my phone, but I don't know if that's going to work. So I may not be around for the show tomorrow, and then I don't, I'm going to talk to him, see if he, maybe he could grab a switch hitter to come on to hop in a tag team partner to jump in my place. But anyway, so earlier, I had a sweet tooth, and I remember I was like, I got all this Wiley Wallaby Australian. It's Australian, by the way. This is Wallaby, which is what Rocco is from Rocco's Modern Life. He's a Wallaby, and that's why he's Australian. This is Australian licorice. And I had a sweet tooth, and so like, I do have actual watermelon that I cut up and put in the fridge that I could eat. But then I also have watermelon flavored licorice. And sometimes I get a hankering for the fake version of a real thing. There's something about the artificial flavor, especially with all the sugar that's added, the high fructose corn syrup, that makes it especially delicious. But then just something about certain artificial flavors that are like a facsimile of the real thing, but altered in some way that it's a very it's its own flavor. Where it's watermelon candy definitely conjures in the mind thoughts of watermelon, but it doesn't taste exactly like watermelon. It tastes like watermelon flavored candy, and sometimes that's what I got a hankering for. And so I had this sweet tooth earlier, and I had me a handful of these watermelon flavored licorice chodes, these Wiley Wallaby, and that's a really good point, Gordon. Blue raspberry is awesome because it's blue and it's raspberry, and that doesn't exist in nature. It's only through man's meddling that we have created such a creation. We've created such a creation. It's such a it's humans taking control over our reality and manufacturing something that has never existed before, and that is blue raspberry. And it's really, and it's more delicious because it's blue. The blue things are really good. Blue Powerade, blue Gatorade, but weirdly, the blue I like the blue Powerade better than the blue Gatorade. Blue Dabba Dee Dabba Die, blue raspberry. So that's a good one too. But then so earlier I had me like three or four of these watermelon Wiley Wallaby licorice chodes, and they were tasty, but then one of them, like I was gnawing on these things. My power's about to go out. The lights are blinking. But so let's get some super chats going before this just comes to a stop. But I was gnawing on these things, and then one of them hit like one of my back teeth down back here, like a chunk of this licorice. I bit down on, hit one of them teeth, and this like sharp stabbing pain shot through my tooth and my gums and all through my jaw. And since then, once the sharp stabby pain went away, I've just had a dull aching pain there, and now it hurts to drink cold drinks. And so I might have finally succumbed to my sweet tooth permanently, because thank you, gold coin from Gordon, 10 jewel. Oh, that's Jules, thank you. Yeah, the sweet tooth might have I might have fallen to the sweet tooth and suffered some sort of permanent dental injury or problem, cavity maybe, because is now every time I take a sip of my ice cold RC zero sugar, it hurts. It hurts where I was eating that licorice earlier, which ain't that about a bitch, because I've been trying to practice better dental hygiene lately. I tend to be negligent in all the ways that one should take care of themselves, because I've lived the life of a monk maybe, or a hermit for a little while now, and so I just don't pay no mind to making myself presentable or taking care of myself at all. And there's with that, I just kind of don't really take care of my teeth that much, but I haven't had any issues with it ever. But until the the last couple weeks, I said I need to start shaping up so that I could become a functioning member of polite society once more. And so I've been brushing my teeth regularly, at least every other day, 2-3 times a week now. And so now I'm like brushing my teeth all the time now, just so many times. And all of a sudden, now that I am brushing my teeth with regularity, I eat some licorice and it hurts my teeth. And so it's curious that when I just completely neglect my dental hygiene, my teeth are strong, which is a complete lie, because I woke up like 3 weeks ago, and for no reason one of my front teeth broke. Like I just like woke up and yawned, and then when I clamped my jaw back down, I felt one of my teeth just chip. Like I felt something break, and then there was just like loose tooth particle pieces rattling around in my mouth. So it's not true actually that my teeth have been strong, but they haven't been in any pain. I'll tell you that much. And so, but then I'm trying to take better care of myself. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm flossing. I want to have minty fresh breath for kissing, And but now, yeah, but I'm doing all that, and then I go to eat some delicious watermelon licorice, and it hurts my teeth, and then my teeth still hurt, and so it leads one to wonder, what are they putting in the toothpaste there at Big Dental? Is it because think about this. Who are the people that tell you that you have to brush your teeth? It's the people that make the toothbrushes and the toothpaste. It's all them folks at Colgate and Crest and all of them. They're the ones that are telling us that 9 out of 10 dentists agree that this is a good thing. But then, I want to talk to that. What does that last dentist know? He knows something that they're not telling us, and it could be because think about dogs, right? Like dogs never brush their teeth unless it's like one of these little small dogs that's owned by a rich white lady, and then she like brushes his teeth because she's like channeling all of the emptiness of her life into this dog, and as she ignores that which is missing in her own existence. It's all being the dog is making up for just so many things in her own life that she's in which she feels unfulfilled. So it's the dog just serves as this like meaning in an otherwise meaningless life, a distraction from loneliness and unfulfillment. And so she puts everything onto this dog and over cares for it. I would say because I mean that's the thing that sucks about dogs is I love dogs, right? Dogs are the best, but dogs do die pretty early. I get compared to us, like dogs die really young, and so you just kind of like when you get a dog, that's the deal you're making is you have to make peace with the fact that if you get it as a puppy in about 10, 11, 12 years, his dog's going to die, and so you just have to cherish those moments and make the best of it. But then I think what happens with some ladies, especially with these like the ladies that get these small dogs, the ones that brush their dog's teeth, is they seem to be in this sort of denial about that, or they're like the care they show for their dogs is this like futile attempt to stave off the inevitable, which is that no matter what, this dog's going to get a bunch of tumors and then die around 10 years old. It might live well beyond that, but it's not going to have any like real quality of life. Like if a dog, take it from me, I know this firsthand that if a dog lives to be 17, that dog had about 12 good years, maybe if that. But if I'm being generous, the dog had 12 decent years, and then those last five, is we you don't know how a dog is feeling at any given moment. They can't talk to you, but you can kind of intuit what's going on with a dog. And I would hazard a guess that any dog that makes it to 17 for about 5 years now, if the dog could speak, it would say, "Please kill me." You know, so that's what whenever you see a woman brushing her dog's teeth, that's what's going to happen, I would think. But most what I'm but my point is, listen to this. Here's $2 from Drew Huntley. Can Dalton call Chris Stanley? He knows teeth. I don't have his number, and I don't really know him that well. But most dogs, not once ever have a single tooth that gets brushed, and their teeth is strong. Dogs don't get cavities. They don't have any. Well, they don't deal with any tooth pain that we're aware of, because again, they cannot vocalize or express that their teeth are hurting. But from what I could tell from the dog, from like my observation of dogs, they don't they seem to not have like teeth problems until again they get old. They get really old and their teeth get brittle, and then your dog goes to play with his favorite toy, and then like some of his teeth get ripped out, and it's like, well, no more toys for that dog, no more playtime, no more shaking around that one. But for the most part, dogs they don't brush, they don't floss, and their teeth are fine. They got like different chew kind of like treats and chew sticks that they can bite down on and gnaw on that I think help with like tooth health. But there's no, they ain't got to brush their teeth or floss or nothing, and yet I'm supposed, all through school they'd have like when I was in school they had people come through and tell us how important it is to brush our teeth, and they would give us a free toothbrush with little small toothpaste things, and be like, take these home and make sure you're brushing your teeth. I've just this dental hygiene thing has been imparted upon me my entire life. It's been just hammered in, just drilled into my skull since I was a kid. The importance of brushing my teeth, and it makes I become skeptical after a while. Why are so many people insistent upon me brushing my teeth? Why is that so important for everyone? Why is it that I'm being told from a young age that I have to brush my teeth, And I guess it could be because it's you know, you don't want to have gross teeth and bad breath and get cavities. That is likely. Uh but also, what is there something in the toothpaste? And then that that also brings forth the query: is what's in the toothpaste actually what is uh, hurting my teeth? Is it that if I had never brushed my teeth, I could eat as much licorice as I want, no problems, but then through brushing my with brushing my teeth, I've introduced some sort of chemical or compound that causes some kind of degeneration to my teeth, and then I eat licorice and it hurts my teeth. And now it's all a bit there is the chance that there could be a vast, intricate dental industrial complex that all benefits from our teeth degrading. And one of the ways they facilitate that degradation is through toothpaste and brushing our teeth. That's actually the act of brushing one's teeth is what harms them, and then you got to go to the dentist. So it's the dentists are in league with the toothpaste people, and then also the toothbrush people, and big floss. All of it is this sort of this scheme to extract as much capital and resources from all of us through our teeth. It's just something I was thinking about because my tooth hurts right now, and I have been brushing my teeth. Um, and so it's like, why, as something I was just wondering about, is that why is it when I try to do the right thing I suffer for it? And it could be, there's also the chance that it could be because I you know did the wrong thing before, which was like not take proper care of my teeth, that there was just already some sort of existing decline happening, and though I am making trying to course correct now, there's already some sort of issue that was brought about through my negligence. And so it's not that there's a vast dental conspiracy. It's just that I have not been taking care of myself in the way I have, and it's good that I'm doing it now. But there's already, some sort of damage has already been done, and now and then it hurts to eat candy. Um, Here's 5 jewels from Tiffany. Treat. Thank you for that. So, welcome to the show, everybody. This is an impromptu live stream. It's just me here talking to myself, which feels unnatural. It's good to have people to talk to, but sometimes the only person I have to talk to is me. And some people have expressed that they enjoy that kind of thing. Sometimes I feel though like there's a kind of hubris that I'm exhibiting. That it was like, why would anybody want to hear just me talk by myself? What's so, that seems crazy. And it's also just like, I'll tell you, sometimes it feels like pulling teeth trying to do something like this. Just sit here and start talking by myself. It's a maybe, but I wonder. It kind of is something we all do anyway, or at least some of us. Maybe I don't know. I've heard like everybody wants to feel like they're special in some way, and so I've heard from some people. It's like nobody in the brain is a funny thing because like nobody really knows what's going on in anyone else's brain. There's no way to actually observe someone else's thoughts and perceive them other than through what that person expresses in other ways. But none of us have any access to like anyone else's just thoughts as they have them. They have to either speak or write something down or paint a picture or you know transpose their thoughts, like they got to move them through some other channel and show us their thoughts in that way. You know what I mean? And so there's no real way to take a look at like any like pure thought that anyone's having. And so in that as thoughts are then translated through language or some sort of visual medium or however it happens, you're only getting a representation of someone's thoughts, but you're not getting like the thoughts themselves, right? And so, with that being said, some people claim that they have no internal monologue, and then that makes you wonder, well, then what the hell what the hell are you thinking all day, But me, and I think a lot of us, though it does feel strange to just talk out loud to yourself, a lot of us, those that do have the internal monologue, are just kind of talking to ourselves all the time anyway. But then to actually like do the action of speaking, you're then having to translate just all these thoughts that are going on in your head into language verbally and vocally, and that in doing so it alters the thoughts that you're having. And even now as I'm speaking and having thoughts, it's like it's not it's like different, or you know what I mean. Kevin wants to come on. Yeah, I'll send him the link here. Let me I gotta go into my email here. Let's get, and by again, my power might go out and just bring this to an abrupt end. So there you go. I mean, I sent Kevin the link. And here's 250 joules from Okasha. It says Laughing Disco. Anyway, so folks, if you're just joining us, we're exploring the nature of thought. What is it? What is thoughts? What does it mean to think about things? And then what are expressions of thought? You know, because there is something that like it's like language is what we use to shit, man, this is heavy shit. This is like some high level shit that I'm trying to figure out. Here's 2 joules from Tiffany, Silver Star. Oh, wait a second. Here's Kevin. Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm with my boy David here, man. We're drinking together.
Silver Star, Tiffany, 2 joules. That's thank you. Wait.
He said, bring that big titty bitch you had on the other night.
She's not. She's busy.
Doing sucking cock or what?
Come on, man. She's a nice lady. She's not busy sucking cock right now. And even if she was, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, at least somebody's having fun.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
It's fun. I mean, honestly, it is kind of fun to watch a woman suck penis.
No, it's not. No.
Yeah. Like if you watch a porno and the woman's sucking on the guy's penis, it's pretty cool.
David, come on.
Dude,
It's from my friend David that was the bass player. Not him, but my other friend David. Is Black David. He doesn't like that name, but
yeah, I can see how a black fella named David might not be partial to the name Black David.
Yeah, he threw a rock at a giant, you know?
He threw a rock at a giant?
David,
you mean from the Bible?
Yeah. Did you do that? I thought for sure it was Black David.
I think that David was like 4. Right?
He might. I mean, he probably was black. It's like that region, Africa, like Egypt, Damascus, all that.
Yeah, where's that region then? Yeah, David was probably black.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was short. Yeah.
That David was like.
Yeah, because there's like a Lord of the Rings map in the Bible that shows you like where all these places are that you're reading about, and it's all like Africa.
It was a black Peter Dinklage.
Yeah,
that was what David was.
Yeah, Peter Darkledge. Peter.
Fuck, man. Why didn't they put that in the Bible? They could have told us that he was black.
Well, it might be. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of history with the Bible that maybe there's some certain people that wanted it to be white Bible.
Hey, Dalton. All right. Before we get into all the Bible talk, have you or your fans? You got a bunch of fans, right? At least like 500 of them. Has anybody reached out to Jonah Hill yet?
No, nobody's reached. In fact, everybody has pretty much forgotten all about that.
I have not. So
yeah, that was in the news for like half a day, and then we were all on to the next thing.
Yeah, but he said, if you think you're tough, come and try to fight me. And I said, me, I'll fight you, Jonah Hill.
He probably wasn't too serious about that. He did say that on that.
Right?
Oh, here's right, 10 joules from Paul is Arts. Happy poop. And then $5 from Drew Huntley. Can David shout out Sumo Dog? It's a real dog, and he'd be awfully Q-word if he didn't shout out.
David. You have to shout out Sumo Dog. Just say shout out Sumo Dog. You got to be on camera when you do it. It's a real dog. His name's Sumo Dog. It's Squeeze's dog, Sumo. It's Sumo Dog. Just say.
He said, "Are the blacks pro dog?" Well, I know their dogs are pro professional fighters.
Just, I'll give it to you. You say, shout out Sumo Dog.
Shout out Sumo Dog.
Thank you.
What does that mean?
It's Squeeze's dog, Sumo.
It's
He's a
Squeeze's
real
dog. It's Squeeze's dog.
Why are so confusing everybody?
Nah, it sounded like I was getting set up for
No. It's a real dog. His name's Sweet. His name's Sumo.
His name is Sumo. Why is it? Oh, I got it. Oh, there we go. I was wondering why it looked like that.
Do you have a picture of Sumo Dog? Send me a picture of Sumo Dog.
I can find one. Let me see here.
Squeeze is like a super fan of like this show.
Squeeze is a dear friend, and he's a big fan of this show and lots of shows.
But he loves that show.
Yeah. Oh, he's a corn-fed day one supporter.
He has a dog named Sumo. Sumo Dog, we call him.
Yeah. Oh, here I think he posted a picture of him. Oh, here we go. I was looking at his Twitter. He did. Yeah.
Sweet posted this.
Yeah. So this is Sumo Dog.
Sumo Dog.
Yeah, and they're watching. It looks like they're watching Legion of Skanks together.
All right, let me show Dave.
So this, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. He's cool dog.
It's a cool dog.
It's a cool dog.
I mean, he do cool. Got a shiny coat.
Dude,
Yeah.
he's got to be a good dog if he's around Squeeze and Swizzle. You know.
Yeah, he's a good dog. I bet you that dog has had his teeth brushed. You ever brush your dog's teeth?
Well, I used to have it's weird shit, but we used to have we used to have like toothpaste for it that was like beef flavored. I promise you, that's what it was, like beef flavored toothpaste.
That sounds pretty good, dude. I would just be sucking it out of the tube like an astronaut. It's like I'm on the space station. Anyway, what were you?
Hey, do you like anime?
Yeah.
What's your favorite anime?
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
You know what that is?
Evangelion.
Evangelion? Yeah.
Yeah, Neon Genesis Evangelion.
I like I always like hentai, but
yeah.
You ever heard of hentai?
What?
I just like watching like hentai.
You like watching animated Japanese pornography?
That's basically what hentai is.
But only when they like have octopuses involved.
You're right. Yeah. Well, because that's how they bypass the Japan's obscenity laws.
Right.
Is with the octopus because you can't.
Yeah, because they won't blur it when they do that.
Correct. So yeah, the octopus appears phallic, like the tentacles look penises. They have like a penis type look to them, but they're not. That is that's why there's always like octopuses and shit. Because
never knew that. Did you know that? You know, you watch like Japanese porn, they're always blurry.
Yeah. Japan has restrictive obscenity laws about pornography, so like they make porn in Japan, but they have to, obscure. They got to pixelate the penises and the vaginas, and I don't know if that. I don't think they have to. Weirdly, I don't think they have to with the buttholes. From what I've seen, they edit out or they pixelate the penises and vaginas, but then you get full view of butthole, which is weird. So they have to censor like the actual genitals, right?
That's
And
fucking
so
crazy.
yeah, so I think the way that they're able to make pornography and enact the fantasy of a man having sex with a woman, but you know, but being unable to show a penis is they use an octopus because it has basically 8 penises.
Oh, okay. So you can do a gangbang with it. I get it.
It's a guy having sex with a woman, but instead of having 1 penis, it's 8. So it's actually better in that way, I think.
So
I don't know. I mean,
stupid.
I genuinely I think that's why that is. I think it's why there's always like octopuses and squids is because it's like the tentacles look penisy enough and they don't have to censor it.
Hey, David, Dalton, will you tell my friend David about how you got cockmocked off the gridiron?
I got wait, what? I got cockmogged off the gridiron. Just yeah. When I was in 8th grade, I tried to play football, and I was so scared of the size of all the guys' penises in the locker room. They had such bigger penises. At least it felt that way. Like looking at all the other penises, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to play football. I don't want to do anything where I have to expose my penis.
You got cockmocked off the gridiron, baby.
Yeah, I've made my peace with it now. Like
I did explain this to you. That's what you got for Peter Pekin, man.
that's what I got for Peter Pekin.
Yeah.
I mean, they were savages in that locker room though. I remember that they like all the boys like they just had their dicks out and they were all very like they were like tricksters.
You're out of your fucking mind.
They were all popping towels with each other, pointing at each other's penises and laughing.
We used to throw icy hot bombs, man. We'd fill a cup up with icy hot, throw it in the shower while everybody's showering, and it would just splatter. And when the icy hot hits water on the skin, it fucking burns.
Yeah, I don't want to. I never wanted to have things like that happen to me, so I got out of it. I'm not. That's not my kind of thing.
One time I didn't do this, but like one of the wide receivers did this. He put icy hot in a super soaker and put water in it and just sprayed them while they were showering.
That seems like a crime. I feel like that's like a.
Not like you should go to jail for that, but
yeah, it seems like something that you could press charges for. It's like assault with a chemical weapon or something. Here's $2 from Drew Huntley. It says King of the Hill Neon Genesis intro for Kevin. Have you seen that, Kevin?
I'm about to, I guess.
Have you seen you never seen the King of the Hill, the Propane Genesis Evangelion?
I don't even know what that means, so I guess I'll see it.
You'll recognize King of the Hill. You're not. You wouldn't.
I don't know Evangelion.
Yeah, you'd have to be familiar with both of them for it to click with you. Otherwise, I'll play it because he wanted.
Does he go?
Well, it's the here. I'll show it to you, and I mean, just it's the intro of an anime merged with King of the Hill. So I mean, here I'll pull it up.
Oh, dude, break stuff, Limp Bizkit.
Here.
We're watching music videos.
残酷な天使のように少年よ神話になれ青い 風が今胸のドアを叩いても私だけをただ見つめて微笑んでるあなた
I have no fucking idea what this is, brother.
Dude, it's Propane Genesis Evangelion.
Watch it.
目さえまだ知らない痛いけな瞳だけどいつか気づくでしょうその背中には遥か未来目指すための羽があること残酷な天使の手で窓辺から
フィリメン
ほとばしる熱いパトスで思い出を裏切るならこの空を抱いて輝く少年よ神話になれ
Yeah,
Hank
so
Hill,
you-
thank you, Drew Huntley. Thank you for your money. Also, Dalton, we
yeah,
made like you made like $500 the last time we podcasted. So
yeah.
I'll take my. You can send me some money whenever, but
Okay. Yeah, that would have really resonated with you if you had also seen Neon Genesis Evangelion. But
right.
absent of that, it probably just didn't make any sense.
I want the dollar. I want half of the $2 that Drew Huntley just sent. Give me one of those dollars.
Okay. Yeah, once the check clears, I mean, I'll get paid for this month, the 21st of next month. So once I get that, yeah, I'll slide a dollar your way.
Are you actually about to get a job, or are you like? are you
Whoa,
just
Kevin,
doing-
easy now. No, these are just baseless rumors.
You work a full-time YouTube
No.
job then?
No, I don't have a job. I'm not employed. I'm
You work on YouTube then?
I'm a 1099 independent contractor. But I gave up the W-2 life. I realize that it's too limiting. There's not enough opportunity for growth in the working for somebody else.
Yeah.
Yet, working for myself, it's infinite possibilities and just okay, we lost Kevin. Yeah, I guess he done, so many people are averse to dreams and ambition. Whenever one speaks of 1099s and pursuing a path in life that is unconventional, so many people just don't want to hear that kind of thing because it challenges what they believe. Or no, I think his internet might just be messed up. Hello?
All right. I'm about to leave because I'm trying to hang out with my friend David, but I need all of your fans to set this fight up with Jonah Hill. I will beat his ass.
Okay.
If
You
can
really
get
want
that
to beat
done,
somebody's ass.
I got to get it out of the system, but I want it to be Jonah Hill.
Okay.
He said he
Yeah,
could fight.
I'm sure at least one of the people that tunes into this show has access to Jonah Hill in some way.
All right, but
And they
promise
can-
me that even if I lose the fight, I won't be embarrassed. But please, somebody help me do this.
Yeah, just making the attempt is what counts. Is just really going for it.
But he said, "I promise you, if you want to fight me, I will fight you." I said, "Shit, I got a platform. I got corn fed. Look, just get it out there."
Again, it bears consideration that he was saying that on a comedy podcast.
Oh, you were joking when he said that?
He might have been joking.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, but if he wasn't, let him know that.
Yeah, we'll get a line out there to him.
At least one of the fans will, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's not on Twitter, so somebody would need to figure out a way to like actually contact him directly or one of his like representation. But Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we can make that happen for sure.
Are you good doing the podcast the rest of this by yourself?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for at least. I don't know. I don't know how long I'm doing. I mean, I just thought I would fire it up and you know, do something.
All right. Well, I might hop that back in, but
Okay.
I got my friend here. I got to hang out with my friend. So
Well, yeah, hang out with your friend. Hang out with Black Dave.
Black Dave.
All right, man.
He said you're racist, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that.
All right, man.
All right.
I'll be
Good
back.
talking to you.
I'll be back.
All right. Goodbye. Well, that was Kevin, folks. Yeah, I appreciate everybody that's tuned in right now to this spontaneous, spur of the moment, whimsical live stream. It's cool. That is cool that I got a thing going. You know, like my own little corner of the internet where if I just decide I want to do something, you know, I turn the thing on, I start talking, and there's people that show up. I'm grateful for that. You know, it's not a you know, it's not like this huge audience, but it's cool. It's something that's, you know, I consider an accomplishment that there's anybody that, you know, thinks I'm interesting enough or talented enough or whatever that shows up to this, and it's growing by the night. So that's cool. Well, what was okay? So, this is corn fed. This is I guess this is a continuation, a continuing of something I was doing before. It was like, you know, for a little while there, I was doing these like solo deals that I was calling "Lost in the Maze." I spelled it Maize because this is corn fed and it's you know, it's like a play on words because, you know, like a maze is a labyrinth, but then maize MAIZE is corn, so it's like, and this is corn fed, and so like, you know, a maze like the labyrinth maze, the you know, the twisty turny, you know, all that. That's something you can get lost in that. You know, you go into a maze like the one they got at the stockyards in Fort Worth. They got this big like it's like a wooden maze they got. It's like, you know, how would I describe it? I guess it's just like fencing. It's all this fencing that's constructed to be a maze. And then throughout it they have these like towers you can climb up into, and it's like your goal in the maze as you wander through is you have to find each of these towers. Like once you're in it, you know, it's all, you know, on either side of you are these like the wooden these wooden walls that extend up and just go forever from, you know, when you're in it, and so you don't know where you are. You're lost in the maze there, and then as you navigate it, you're looking for these different like entrances that take you up into this tower. And once you go up there, you have a punch card, and at the top of each of these towers is like a puncher with a letter in it that you punch into your card. And once you find each of those, and you've punched all of your card, you navigate your way out of the maze, and you should, you know, you hand the thing to the guy that you made it to all the towers, and I forget like what you get for that or if there's any prize at all. I mean, the prize is just doing it. It's just having fun in a maze, you know, when you're in the stockyards. So, you know, but it's, you know, that's kind of the purpose of a maze like that, is you're lost, and you have to through your own wits and wiles navigate your way through it. and then that's what, and then that's kind of what this is like I'm lost, but just in a a linguistic sense, and I'm just trying to figure out the right things to say, uh, to to um to take up about an hour or so of time. Here's 10 joules from T-Space. Happy poop. And then here's $2 from Drew Huntley. Shout out Columbo. It's a real show about a detective. That is true. Sparkles. Thank you for the 2 joules, Tiffany. But yeah, so yeah, but like I was saying earlier, folks, we're just we're discussing the nature of thought itself, because this is that's something that is something I think about a lot, is thoughts, and it's something I've talked about before, but it is one of those things that interests me, and I um I haven't really had much focus these last few years. I've been in you know, this time in my life has been one of recovering from a bad thing that happened to me, right? And so I just have been so scatterbrained and just brain fried that whenever I try to actually focus on any one thing, I find myself unable to do so, and I feel like a large part of that is due to a chemical imbalance that occurred in my brain that I've had to, recover from. I went psycho for a little while there. And then also just a damn cell phone. I'd be scrolling all the time and indulging in various stimuli and methods of instant gratification that are very fleeting, just like this constant and instant stream of pleasurable images and words and sounds through the phone, and and so anything else that requires my diligence and focus, I struggle with these days. I don't think I'm the only one. You talk to a lot of people now, and most people will tell you they say I haven't read a book since high school, or I can't even watch TV without scrolling my phone. I don't even know what's going on. I've been watching, man, this is a good example. They got this new program, a new story, a new one of my stories on HBO. It's this show called Lanterns, and it's about the Green Lantern, the superhero. But it's like a dark, gritty, edgy. They cuss, and they showed a penis in the second episode. So it's like this dark, gritty version of the Green Lantern from the comic books. This ain't no Ryan Reynolds, children's Green Lantern. This is for grown-ups. This comic book adaptation. And it is like as I'm an adult now, right? And I've been an adult for some time. And I think for a lot of my adulthood, because I read comic books a lot as a kid, and I watched cartoons all the time when I was a boy. I grew up watching Batman and Justice League and Spider-Man and all that stuff, and that did follow me into adulthood. And then there was somewhere along the way as an adult, as everything became inundated with so much superhero stuff. It feels like I just got exhausted with it, or even though it was something that I still engaged with as an adult, as it became more and more prominent just culturally and in media, eventually I just was like, this is crazy. It just how much of everything is superheroes now, and it feels so juvenile. And eventually I became of the mind that superhero stuff is kind of for kids. And you know, when you just like when I think about all the superhero things that are going on nowadays, so I guess it's cool that they be making this stuff, but it is just like as an adult grown man, it would be nice. It is. I prefer to engage with media or watch things or read things or whatever that are not um, weighed down by the fact that they are based on a comic book or like a superhero thing. I guess sometimes there's comic book shit that's like for adults. It's not really super. It doesn't. You get what I'm saying? Like this Green Lantern show, like the actual like the characters and the story, like all of that is interesting. Where it's this like small town mystery, and you got this like grizzled, hard boiled, like he's basically a cop, right? Like he's this grizzled, long time, rough and tumble cop that's been on the force for a lot of years. But it just so happens that he's the fucking Green Lantern, and to me, it's like, it feels like something I'm interested in, but for all the things that are not superhero shit, you know what I mean? And then but I have to like put up with the fact that, oh yeah, this is also like part of a larger world of aliens and superheroes and people flying around and lasers, And so anyway, I'm enjoying it, and that guy they got for the Green Lantern, um, the guy that plays his name is Hal Jordan. That's who the Green Lantern is. I think there's like a number of green. Well, there's actually okay. So again, I've read a lot of these comic books as a boy and also as a young adult, and then I just kind of stopped reading them as I got older. But I can tell you, I do know that there's like a bunch of Green Lanterns, like thousands of them, because there's a Green Lantern Corps. So it is like a police force or or a military or whatever they are. They're like they're basically, I guess they're like a militarized police force that patrols the universe. They're like an intergalactic militarized police force that could be considered it could be considered an overreach of authority and potentially fascist, depending on who you talk to about this kind of thing. But anyway, there's like a lot of them. But then as far as like human Green Lanterns, like if you're reading a Green Lantern story, who like the protagonist of any given Green Lantern story, there's been like 4 or 5 of them. Well, there's the Golden Age Green Lantern, right? His name is Alan Scott, and he's disconnected from all the other shit because that's like a different universe or something. So the Green Lantern from the 30s is a guy named Alan Scott. But then once you get into the Silver Age and you get into like the Space Police, that the first one of them is a guy named Hal Jordan, and then the next one is the black fellow named Jon Stewart, not the Jewish political comedian. He's a black guy who's a Marine or something. And then you got Guy Gardner, who was a police officer, and he has a bowl cut. He's played by Nathan Fillion now in the Superman movie. Now I guess he shows up in the TV show at one point. I saw him in the trailer. And then there's another guy. I think he's like half Asian or something. His name was Kyle Rayner. But in the TV show, the main character, the two protagonists are Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. And so the way they're telling the story is that the Guardians of the Universe, which are these like old ass aliens that live on a planet called Oa, they have appointed Jon Stewart as Hal Jordan's like backup or his partner. And so it's Hal Jordan's got to train this guy to be a Green Lantern, right? And so it's like it's this, but it's it's this story that's familiar to us if you've ever seen like cop shows or cop movies where you got the guy that's been on the force forever, and then the fresh faced rookie, and he's got to train that guy, and but then as he's trying to train him, they get caught up in something that this case that's beyond what the rookie is ready for, right? And it's something that the old detective that's been on the force forever is trying to work on himself, but while he's doing that, he's kind of hampered by the fact that he's got this rookie that he also has to figure out what to do with this guy, right? And so it's like all that shit is like, to me, that's what's interesting, and that's what's like engaging about the show. But then it all has to be connected to this, like, all this Green Lantern shit. So as you're like watching this kind of adult story, this like noir crime thriller mystery, it's also just like the main guy has to say the fucking Green Lantern oath, and it's like, that sounds silly. It's just like a ridiculous thing that you have to incorporate into this, into this whole story, right? But the reason I brought that up though is like I am enjoying the show, but what I struggle with is the phone. It's the cell phone. So like I tell myself, oh, there's a new episode of Lanterns available to watch on the HBO Max streaming application. And so I sit down and I hit play to go to watch it, but then immediately I'm looking at my damn phone and I'm missing shit. I don't know what's going on the show. And then something happens, or I poke my head up and I go, shit, what did I miss? And I'm having to like rewind it and all that because I'm looking down at my damn phone, and the phone is providing me nothing. There's nothing of substance or any like real gratification on the damn phone, but it's this just like endless stream of pleasure. It's basically like I'm jacking off my brain with Twitter and Instagram Reels and crypto and all, just whatever is all on my phone. I'm playing around a Balatro and like just distracting myself from that which itself is a distraction. A TV show is entertainment. It's an escape from reality. But we've like buried ourselves in so much entertainment now that there now is a thing where as I'm like attempting to be entertained, I then am trying to entertain myself during the entertainment. And so it's like these different like layers of abstraction from reality. Like I'm removing myself so much from my own existence, and then I don't know what's going on the show, which is like something I told myself I wanted to do. I said to myself, I was like, I want to watch this show. I'm enjoying it. I want to see where it goes. Is he gonna fly? Do we get to see him fly? That'd be cool. But then I'm looking at my fucking phone the whole time, and then I'm like, oh shit, did he fly yet? So it's something that just like troubles me, that I'm so lacking in focus or just like the ability to concentrate or just like actually do anything, just calm my mind or settle myself to any degree, that even with all the things that themselves are supposed to be like pleasures, I'm I'm doing this thing where I'm trying to pleasure myself on top of that. I'm like I'm distracting myself from the distractions, and then I don't, I'm not actually engaging with anything. I'm not like connecting with any of the things I'm doing, and I feel so like, I don't know, I feel just fried. I don't think I'm the only one that's experiencing this kind of thing. A lot of everybody on their damn phone now, and it hit old people hard. Like you think like older people are always wagging their fingers at younger folk for their habits and their behaviors. Kids playing on their phone or the rock and roll music or whatever it is. But man, you go to a Denny's or an IHOP and look at all the 50, 60, 70-year-olds in there. They all are just like, they all have their faces buried in these big ass Android phones that each one of the phones is turned up at the loudest volume, and they're all just, and they got the clip on their belt on their waist for the phone, and they're all just playing on their big ass Samsungs, and not, they're not looking at their family that they're having their breakfast with. They're not paying attention to the waiter and waitress. They're just like, I don't even know what, playing slots or that's what I got, that's what my aunt does. I got an aunt who's like, she's in her 60s, and just like every moment she's pulling her phone out to play slots, which she's either playing with money or it's just a free. I don't know, but if you go to a Denny's or a Waffle House, IHOP with my aunt, the whole time she got them slots going, and I've seen that with like a lot of older people who I would think would have been like not susceptible or would not have been interested in these new, like, all the different advancements in technology or these new technologies. They've been consumed by the damn phone. And also AI is hitting boomers like crazy. They love that shit. You know, my mom, well, my mom is, I guess, technically Gen X, but she talks to the Alexa like it's her friend. She'd be having like full conversations with the Alexa and telling me things that the Alexa told her, and I'm like, wait, who are you talking to? She goes, Alexa. I'm like, the appliance. I saw Pandatron in chat wanting to know what superpower I would want to have, and that's a good. I guess that's something to think about, because the easy answer is flying. Flying would be tight, but then you think about it, it's like it probably gets cold up there, and there's bugs and shit, and airplanes, and there's like all these different things that where flying could actually be like really unpleasant, you know. So, but that would be cool, to be able to fly. And then you got, I don't know, invisibility seems lame. Like, what would I guess there's a lot you could do with it, but just as like a thing that would be fun. Because yeah, I don't know if it would be fun to be invisible, but you could steal things. I guess you'd be good at stealing stuff. I don't know. Where are all the superpowers out there? There's a lot of them in the comic books. I'm trying to think, like, what would if I had some ability. I don't know. I guess like I don't. I guess maybe like what Professor X has, like like whatever, like his telepathy or whatever. That'd be cool. Maybe being able to like go into people's brains and see what they thinking, and then manipulate their thoughts and make the woman I love me. That'd be cool. Um, I guess also, yeah, Spider-Man. Also Spider-Man. That'd be tight, dude. But I would need, you got to have the organic webbing. That shit that Stan Lee originally came up with some fucking bullshit. You telling me he can jump around? He has the super strength. He can crawl on walls. He's got all these like spider abilities, but then he can't. He's got to like still synthesize the webs in a lab and make the actual mechanism for shooting the webs. That sucks. And then it brings into there's all the potential issues you could have with it. That web shooter could get jammed up. It could get damaged while you're like punching and kicking guys. There's all these things that could go wrong with it, and even if nothing goes wrong, it's just this thing you have to maintain constantly. Is the your web shooter, but then that's where Sam Raimi actually improved upon the Spider-Man idea, which is like, yeah, what if he just also made webs himself? And why would he get just like specific spider abilities but not the webs? But I also don't. What is a spider's web actually for? Because it's a spider doesn't use its web for what Spider-Man uses his web for. Like spiders don't their mobility is not through their webbing. Like they don't swing from place to place with their webs. They crawl places. And then once they get settled in somewhere, they construct a web, which I guess that's where they hang out and then catch flies and shit to eat. But the web is not like the mechanism by which they travel. So maybe that's I mean, I guess in that way, the Spider-Man Peter Parker did get all the abilities of a spider, because like then if he knowing how a spider actually uses its webbing, I don't know, like in what how useful would that be in fighting crime in the city? Just that he has the ability to build a hammock, pretty much, and so you have to. But then again, it's a comic book for children, so I don't think you're restricted to like any sort of realism or what a spider's actual deal is. Um. Oh shit, is that true? Pandatron says spiders do actually use webs to swing. All right, look, I don't know spiders that well. I'm not like too knowledgeable about spiders. I'm not a spider scientist, so pretty much anything I know about spiders is instinctual. Is that I see a spider and I get scared and I stomp on it. Because they're icky and they're scary and they make my skin crawl. Like I'm not terrified of them to the point where like I would say it's a phobia. But if I see a spider, I'm not one of these people that's gonna go and like play with it. You see those people who like let them crawl around on them and they're like friends with spiders and shit. I wouldn't, I'm not one of them. But I'm also not the kind of person that becomes paralyzed at the sight of a spider. If I'm taking a shower and I see a spider crawling on the shower wall there, I'll slap it with my hand and then wash it down the drain. Or I guess like I could just take the shower. I got one of them detachable shower heads and then hose it down with that. I don't have to touch it really. But anyway, but that's like the extent of anything I know about spiders is that they elicit in me a fight or flight response, and then I kill them, or I run away from them. But those are the two things I feel when I see a spider is fight or flight, and that's all I know about them is that they are a threat. But then ain't that something? it's all perspective, you know. That's what life is, so much perspective. The spider probably sees me as a threat, and I am, because I am trying to kill it. So that's something, you know, that's something to think about. That, you know, I'm scared of the spider, and the spider is scared of me, and there's just no way for us to actually understand or know each other. You know, I'll never have any real connection with any spiders. And some people seem to actually have that. They keep them as pets, and the spiders don't bite them. It looks like, or maybe they do. Maybe these are always like walking around itching because their pet spider be biting them. I don't know. I got stung by a wasp the other day. $5 from Drew Huntley. Buy a hammock. This message brought to you by Big Hammock. It's not ham, Dalton. Thanks for clarifying. That's not ham. Yeah, I did that. That wasp that stung me, that hurt. It was one of them. I think it's what they call a cow killer. Which, all right. And it did try to kill a cow when it stung me. But it was, yeah, it's one of them big old red wasps, you know. And I was just standing outside playing on my damn phone like I always do, and then all of a sudden it felt like it felt like a hot nail was being hammered into my ankle. Like it was this real sharp burning stabby pain. It hurt, it fucking hurt. And I started screaming and running and jumping and shaking my foot and stomping. And I finally got it off of me. And then for like a few minutes there, like the pain was just intensifying. And then it finally subsided, and then just every now and then there would be like this dull wave of pain that would reverberate through where it stung me and then all throughout my foot. And I was just hoping I wasn't allergic. You know, I took a couple Benadryl just in case. And then since then, I've been all itchy where it stung me is like all itchy. But, you know, I'm okay. But that wasp is fucking dead now. I killed it. You know, as it was stinging me, I shook it off, and it landed on the ground, and then I stomped on it. And yet, you know, the wasp was stinging me because it thought that that's what I was going to do. Isn't that funny? That in its attempt to, you know, thwart a potential threat, it brought about its own ruin that it was attempting to prevent. and so that's, you know, so that's some heavy shit to think about. That what it was trying to stop by stinging me is actually what made it happen. The wasp didn't want me to kill it, and so it stung me, and then I killed it. And that, you know, that makes you think, don't it? Just all the ways that, you know, we try to maybe prevent or make certain things not happen, and then our own actions make the thing happen that we didn't want to happen. So, you know, it's a funny thing. You get what I'm saying? It's something I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of things to say, but you know, I feel like I have done that before, where I'm worried about a certain thing happening. Like I'm worried about whatever it is I'm worried about, and it becomes this like such a strong anxiety in me that for whatever reason, either my attempts to avoid it or to ensure that it doesn't happen actually ensures that it does happen. Like I get so consumed by this a potential bad thing that I sabotage myself and just make the thing happen that I didn't want to happen, And it's just like when that wasp stung me. I think that's what I did about 5 years ago when I was being invited on all these big podcasts, and it felt like, maybe I'm going to be successful in the way that I've always wanted to be. And then, at the same time, I got a nice lady I'm with, and I got all these cool friends, and all these good things are happening for me. And as all of that is happening, I'm thinking to myself, like, man, do not fuck this up. Wouldn't it be the worst if you do something that just ruins all of this? And I would just go over in my mind, just constantly just thinking about all the ways that this could go bad, and it could slip through my fingers, and I become the guy that where it almost happened, and almost, just the life that almost was, because I fumbled the ball right at the goal line. And then that's exactly what I did. It's like I manifested that which I was hoping to avoid by obsessing over avoiding it, you know. And then I'm the wasp that stung myself. But I guess like everything's I mean, everything's not okay now, but it's getting better. It's closer to okay than it was since then. And I did. Yeah, you gain a lot of perspective whenever you endure turmoil and adversity. You know, first thing I learned, something important to learn, or a nice thing to realize is that it's good to be alive. It's just like to have any sort of to develop any sort of gratitude about just like having air in your lungs. That's nice, and just to uh, get to a place where you go, all right, well that was really a lot of bad things just happened to me, and I'm just glad to still be alive. Baseline, I'm happy to be here, and I'm not like um I'm not concerned with all the ways, all the shortcomings in life, or all the ways that I feel unfulfilled, or just all these material things as much anymore. Where it's like, I've been through the crucible and gotten to a place where I go, it's pretty chill to just be alive. That's cool, And then so that serves as like a foundation to build upon. And so just like in the in the preceding years since then, um it's been getting better and better, and I'm feeling more each day more solid. uh you know I guess emotionally, mentally, and also physically, because I've gained so much weight. I am more solid than I used to be in those days. I'm losing weight. Don't worry about that. I'm just saying that um everything's getting better. In as I continue to keep stay in good spirits, and stay motivated. I try to motivate myself and remain diligent, and and do and just like put forth the effort to I don't know, to do things and make things happen, which is what I'm doing now with this. you know, right now I'm doing something rather than doing nothing. And in doing so, I am creating something that is no longer nothing. Here's $5 from Joe Triple D 523. As a memoriam, can we listen to some Wasp? Yeah, we can. You know what? We'll go ahead and close out with that. I think we did good work here tonight, and I am excited for what the future holds. Folks, please be sure to subscribe to the Patreon for this channel. That is patreon.com/with Dalton Pruitt. Patreon.com/cornfed with Dalton Pruitt. And then subscribe to the Patreon for the other show I do with Robbie Goodwin. That show is called The Arena of Ideas, and that's patreon.com/The Arena of Ideas. And then the store is going offline, I guess, in a few days. I don't know. I just don't even worry about that. I don't know what I hope everything. I appreciate everything Lily did for me. I enjoyed working with her, and I was happy to be collaborating with her. And I wish her the best in her future endeavors. So don't even sweat all that. But is there any other plugs? I guess I love you, and yeah, and and like I said, Arena of Ideas is usually on Thursdays, and so tomorrow's Thursday. But I'm doing a little. I'm doing a thing. I'm doing a little road trip that I'm going on, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do any live streaming while I'm doing that, and so I'll coordinate it with Robbie and see if if he can grab somebody to come in and still do the show, or if we have to, it might just be a bye week, but that's I try to create foster an environment here at the network where anybody can do whatever they want and not feel bad, because that sucks when you have like an actual like a W-2 job and you just want to go do some shit with your family, but then you got to ask permission. You have to get approved for it. But then they won't let you because the people that have been working there longer than you already asked for those days off. And so then you're so restricted from what you want to do because you don't want to starve to death. Because if you lost your job, you would then no longer be able to generate the income you need to buy groceries. And so you have to make a decision that working this job I hate that won't give me this time off is more important than just taking the time off and not having the job. And that is true. I mean, that is the responsible thing to do, that if you have a job and it's either, spend time with your family and just not have a job anymore, or have to sacrifice that time with your family to just stay at the job. The responsible thing is to stay at the job and just try to figure something out later. Cause it's a tough world we live in that requires so much from us. And in order to survive this life, we got to do things we don't want to do and make these sacrifices to produce capital for our employers and generate income for ourselves. And until there's some drastic overhaul of that, as it's just the way things are. Who knows what the future looks like. I'm skeptical of when any of these proponents of artificial intelligence talk about UBI, that's actually anything they're interested in, is ensuring that everybody is okay. And who knows if UBI, universal basic income, is the correct solution or not. Who knows, but some sort of something bears consideration that if there are going to be these drastic changes in the labor market and the way just everything is, with technology, that there would need to be some way in which people that are affected by that are able to, not die or not suffer immensely. And so some sort of solution or some mitigate something to mitigate that is something to consider. I don't know if that's just giving a bunch of people a bunch of money, but then it's like, in a world absent the need for human labor, what is even the value of the money at that point? You know what I mean? Money represents like value. So it's like however much money you have, the fact that you have money shows that you did something to get that money. Whatever work you did. But then if all the work is being done by a fucking computer, well, shit, give the computer all the money then. But then it's also just like, so what is even the value of the money at that point? Why are we still operating on this antiquated financial system? But I guess if that is the system we're on, if it's still going to be this one in which there's like capital and money and income and all that, yeah, I guess you would need to have some sort of safety net there to patch things up until we figure something else out. And I suppose that would look like universal basic income. However, whenever I hear guys like Elon Musk or Sam Altman now talk about that kind of thing, I am suspicious about that. I get the feeling that they don't actually believe that or want to do that. I think they would be much happier if we all just fucking died, but they can't say that yet, because we still live in a world where that would greatly negatively impact them if they did actually express that sentiment. But I feel like in the future they'll be able to just have that thought. They'll just be able to, oh no, actually the way I feel is I wouldn't mind if all those people just died. Clear out the chaff, separate the wheat from the chaff. And maybe I'm just being cynical, but there's nothing about those guys that comes across to me as like they have a lot of compassion or interest in like all of us. They seem to be only interested in themselves and people like them. People at like their echelon, or whatever strata they happen to live in, and then the rest of us, the riffraff, the dregs. I think, yeah, I get the feeling that they're only saying what they're saying now about like everybody's gonna be abundance and all that. That's just like that's just some shit they're saying that's false. That's not they don't actually feel that way, or nor do they want that to happen. That's what I feel. Who knows, man? I guess maybe I shouldn't be so fatalistic about it, but it's like, man, I'm worried. I get real worried when just so much of power and resources are consolidated amongst not just like elites, not just rich people, but just the weirdest fucking rich people of all time. Rockefeller and all them guys, they were like that, but they don't seem as strange as this new batch of rich guys like Elon Musk and Sam Altman and who's the one with the goatee and the mullet, Palmer Luckey. These guys all seem so like nefarious or just a bunch of odd ducks, that's for sure. So so it's like I don't give a shit that a small subset of the population hoards all the wealth and power and influence. It just is. It's just just how weird they are. That's what bugs. Like, I wish it was just like the way rich guys used to be, or just it's not like I was around for those kinds of rich guys, but from what I've seen in movies and books and shit. So I could have my understanding of things is probably wrong. They were probably, Rockefeller was just as weird as any of these fucking guys, but it seems more graceful, elegant the way he was rich versus how these guys are rich. Anyway, hey, speaking of rich guys, somebody said to play this song by Wasp. Oh yeah, listen, the Wasp. Okay, we'll wrap up with that. Here's Animal parentheses fuck like a beast by Wasp.
Inside my head, I'm making artificial lovers for free. I start to howl the heat. I'm gonna growl them, I'm fucking crazy. I fuck like a beast. And come around, I come and feel your love. And you down, I come and steal your love. Feel your love. You down, I'm gonna steal your love. I'm on the prowl and I watch you closely, and I'm waiting for you. When I move with the sheepskin's clothing, I leave my chops in your tight skin. I do whatever I want to, yeah. I'm the rest of the sheets. I'm pulling thrust in the sweat starts to sting, yeah. I fuck like a beast. And come around, I go feel your love. When you down, I come steal your love. Come around, I come feel your love. When you down, I come steal your love. Come, friend, savage seduction. Come around, I don't feel your love. When you down, I don't see your love. Come around, I don't feel your love. When you down, I don't steal your love.
That was cool. Actually, I like that. That's a cool song. That was that was fun. That was a Wasp. Animal fuck like a beast. Well, folks, thanks for tuning in. Again, I love you, and I appreciate all y'all for your support and continued support. And I thank you for humoring me while I do one of these. I haven't done the solo thing in a while. It's I guess it's cool. It's a fun little thing. It's just it is like a different kind of skill to develop. Just doing like just sitting here by myself. And I really, and I'm not like, all these other streamers. They got other shit that they're doing and playing with while they're streaming. So they're not really like being expository necessarily. They're just sitting there and doing whatever the hell they do, playing a video game or bouncing off of some other thing. No, what you're getting from me is as close to pure thought as possible. Is me thinking things and then translating my thoughts into language and expressing them to you. And that's what language is. If you've ever read like not his political stuff, but like the early works of Noam Chomsky when he was a linguistics professor, or the Tractatus Logico Philosophicus by Wittgenstein. It's also something that's explored in various essays by David Foster Wallace and the novel Infinite Jest. And then what else is there? I guess like there's a book by a guy named David Markson called Wittgenstein's Mistress. That's a novel that's also sort of an exploration into thought and language, and and then also a lot of the short stories by Borges as well. This is some like it's real heady shit that I guess was like what they call postmodern. I don't know, but it is like something to think about. Just like what is even what is language? Like when we say things to each other, it's like our attempts to expressing thought, but being unable to actually share the thoughts that we have, that like our actual thoughts. We have to like transform our thoughts into words and then share them. And so everything I'm saying is but an adaptation of what I'm thinking, or a a signifier of there's the sign, which is what I'm thinking, and then the signifier, which is the words I'm saying. And then if you read like Baudrillard, the hyperreal is when there's no longer sign nor signifier. I don't know what any of that means, to be honest with you. It's just like I've read like a handful of things, and I'm trying to sound smart, but I don't know if I'm not much of an academic. I tried to be when I used to be able to read, and so I just have like all these like deep heady books I've read before that I just like try to come up with ideas based on that. But it's not even like I really understood what I was reading a lot of the time. But look, I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on a college education, so if this is how I put it to use, then so be it. But anyway, good night, everybody. I love you.